Good morning, students. I am Dr. Mohinak Mukhopadhyay, and I am again come with a new video in this channel. Today's topic of discussion is chromosome and genomic organization. That is a part one. Chromosome and genomic organization part one. If you have any question, you can contact me through this email. And these are my lab website. If you have any inquisitive to check my research activities, you can definitely visit these particular websites to check that. So, in today's class, our first question is what is genome? So, genome is the entirety of an organism's hereditary information. So, whatever hereditary information any particular organism have, all those informations are actually placed inside the genome. So, if we consider ourselves as diploid organism that we are diploid organisms, then our haploid sets of chromosomes are known as genome. So, it is encoded either in DNA and like in case of us, we are the most developed eukaryotic organism that is human. Our genome is DNA, but in some viruses, their genome may be made up of RNA. So eukaryotic organism, all these type of organisms, genome are made up of DNA, and in case of some viruses, their genomes are made up of RNA. So the genome includes both gene and non-coding sequences. So it is not possible that eukaryotic genome only have genes. No, eukaryotic genome have genes. Mm, What is the meaning of gene? So gene is the portion of DNA that are able to encode some functional protein. So their genome, means eukaryotic organisms genome, are composed of gene as well as some parts are composed of those portions who are not able to encode any protein. Those are known as non-coding sequences. So genome for any eukaryotic organism made up of both coding and non-coding sequences. Now, if we divide gene, that means the coding part of the genome which is able to code some protein. They are of many types. Mainly, we can divide them in structural genes, functional sequences, and non-functional sequences. So all these are actually together. If all these things come together, they are able to compose the whole genome structure. So these are the components of a genome structure. So what is structural gene? That gene code for some specific RNA or protein, or they encode some tRNA, snRNA, scRNAs, etc. mRNA, of course, mRNA, from mRNA protein is being coded. So, of course, a structural gene must encode some mRNA. They can also encode some tRNA because tRNA and have a responsibility in the protein synthesis process. Some snRNA and scRNAs. So functional sequence means those are the regulatory sequence. We will definitely discuss in some later classes that in a gene, for the for the perfect function of any gene, some other sequences are also required. Those sequences are known as regulatory sequences. Those sequences are the parts of initiation sites, promoter site, operator site, etc. So those are known as functional sequences. In the absence of those functional sequences, it is not possible for any structural gene to encode anything. These functional sites, functional sequences are responsible for the proper functioning of the genes. That is why functional sequences are the part of genome. Then it comes the non-functional sequences. Those sequences, as we know them as an intron, as well as some repetitive sequences. They may have some function. They may have, some of them have some function, but majority of them actually don't have any kind of functions. So they are known as non-functional sequences. So now, if you follow these particular lines, genomes of all living organisms represents their hereditary material and is formed of DNA. Yes, we have already discussed it. In case of prokaryotic cell, genomic DNA forms a single circular chromosome. Yes, that we all know. In case of any bacteria, bacteria have only one circular chromosome structure. They have a circular genetic material and they have a single circular genetic material. They might have the plasmids, but we are not considering that. Okay, so without basic protein lies in the cell cytoplasm in nucleoid region. Yes, we called them nucleoid. We called the genetic material of bacteria is nucleoid structure, and they don't have any kind of nuclear structure. So yes, they resides in cytoplasm. In case of eukaryotic cells, DNA is associated with basic proteins, that is histone, form long chromatin fibers. Chromatin fibers form a network enclosed in the double-layered nuclear envelope and condensed into chromosome during cell division. We will definitely discuss this whole process of formation of the or condensation of genetic material for the formation of chromosome. We will definitely look into this particular part. But now, for today's class, we need to know that, yes, eukaryotic cells have multiple chromosome structure. So, if we compare genome size of different organisms, Homo sapiens in human have 3.2 billion base pair size genome. That is, we have approximately 25,000 genes and 46 number of chromosomes. Mouse have 2.6 billion of base pair and 40 functional genes. Sorry, 40 chromosome. Within that chromosome, 25,000 functional genes. So, like in this way, Drosophila, Arabidopsis, everybody, every important organism cell structure or genome size is given here. And if you look at this particular chart, every organism which is mentioned here are actually working as a model organism. So now, if we talk about eukaryotic genome, so what is eukaryotic genome? Now, how they are actually composed? These are the main part. The nucleus is the heart of the cell that we all know. Any eukaryotic cell have a cell membrane structure. Inside that they have a nucleus. Inside that nucleus, there are several organelles are there, suborganelles are there, but it is basically composed of the genetic materials. This is nucleosome structure. So it is an organelle submerged in the sea of turbulent cytoplasm. Yes, nucleus is actually submerged, or you can able to see the nucleus in within cytoplasmic structure. So nucleus contain many threads like coil structures which remain suspended in the nucleoplasm and which are known as chromatin structure. If we consider chromatin structure is basically composed of DNA and plus protein. As we have already discussed, there are some basic proteins which is involved with the DNA structure to form the total chromosome structure, right? So the proteins which are mainly present in this particular DNA structure and help the formation of chromosome, those proteins are known as histone protein. So if we are if we are talking about the condensation and the chromosome structure, then this is the eukaryotic cell nucleus, and inside the eukaryotic cell nucleus. Now, I'm just let me remind you one thing. When we are talking about nucleus have five different parts. Nucleus have five different parts. What are those parts? Number one, nuclear membrane. Number two, nuclear pore. Number three, nuclear material. That is this tangled thread-like material. That is nuclear material. Fourth one is nucleoplasm, the liquid content which is present inside the nucleus. That is known as nucleoplasm. And fourth one is the nucleolus. Right? I think you all know all these particular structures. Now, when we are talking about condensation, in that particular case, we actually get the chromatin structure, followed by the nucleosome structure, followed by the solenoid structure, followed by the condensed chromosome structure. Chromosome structure is actually observed during the cell division process. That means during the mitotic phase of the cell division process. In any kind of cell division, there are two phases. One is the interphase, another is the mitotic phase. Interphase means in that particular time, cells are actually preparing themselves for the division. I have already discussed this particular thing. And if you want, you can check the videos which explain cell division process. So chromosome structure structures are observed only during the time of the mitotic phase of cell division. But majorly chromosome or DNAs or genome of the eukaryotic cells are actually found in form of chromatin structure. This is the structure which actually predominates. And during the process of condensation, that means from chromatid to chromosome structure formation, condensation requires the help of histone proteins. So, how many kind? So there are now we need to know what are the different organization of chromatin. In resting non-dividing eukaryotic cell, the genome is in the form of nucleoprotein complex, the chromatin. So yes, definitely when a cell is in a non-dividing phase, so if we consider cell cycle, majority of the cell cycle are interphase. That is divided into G1, S, and G2. And a certain portion is dedicated for mitotic phase. That is the division phase. So in this resting phase, that is in this non-dividing phase, genomes are actually is in the form of nucleoprotein complex in the chromatin. So the information stored in DNA is organized, replicated, and read with the help of a variety of DNA binding proteins. That is very true. So structural proteins, which is the main structural proteins found in the eukaryotic cells, that is histone. They are also known as packaging proteins. Several kinds of histones are there, mainly the type of histone which is involved in the process of cell the chromatin condensation. They are H1, H2A, H2B, H3, and H4. These are 5 different kinds of histone protein, which is actually involved in the formation of different kinds of condensation structure. So this particular structure is called nucleosome structure. Nucleosome structures are condensed several times to form the intact chromatid. So for the formation of chromatid from a tangled genetic material, it needs to get condensed. That we know. Now, it not actually condensed for a single time. There are multiple condensation processes. And those multiple condensation process finally leads to the development of this nucleosome structure. Now, nucleosome structures have this particular bead on a string model. They are known as bead on a string model. These are the bead on a string model that is known as the nucleosome. Next one is the solenoid structure. Next one is the 300 nanometer diameter chromatin fiber. What is the diameter? 300 nanometer. It then further condensed to form 700 nanometer diameter structure, which is known as chromosome. Now, these are different parts of nucleosome structure. It's starting from a simple DNA along with simple DNA along with bead on a string. These are the bead on a string. That is also known as the nucleosome, followed by solenoid, followed by 300 nanometer diameter chromatin fiber, followed by 700 nanometer chromatid structure, and two chromatid structure. When it comes together, it forms the metaphase chromosome structure, that is 1400 nanometer structure. So, if you look at the chemical composition of chromatin, then you will get the DNA is only 20 to 40%. In this genomic structure, these are the main constituents. These are the main constituents, that is DNA. In case of protein, we can able to get that 55 to 60% proteins are associated with the chromatin structure. How much protein? 55 to 60%. Rest of the part are the RNA part. Okay? So within this RNA, rRNA, mRNA, and tRNAs are dominant. So now, if you look at histone, which is a very conserved protein, which is a very, very conserved protein. The meaning of conserved is their sequence is not greatly changed with the development of organisms, or with the or through the process of evolution, their structures is not greatly changed. They may be changed with one or two sequences, two amino acid sequences, but rest of the part are same. So mainly, I have already told you that 5 kinds of histone proteins are available, and also non-histone proteins are there, and they composed of total 20% of the chromatin structure. Now, 50% structural and contractile proteins are function during chromosome condensation and the movement of chromosome during mitosis and meiosis. So 50% structural proteins are also involved. So those in name of those structural proteins are actin, L and B tubulin, myosin, etc. In 50%, rest of the 50% includes all enzyme cofactor, which involved in replication, transcription, regulation of transcription. So those are the 50% of the protein structure, protein. So now, if we look at the ultrastructure of this particular nucleosome model, what we get? We get that 3 levels of structural organizations are there. 3 levels of structural organizations are there. First one is the string, beads on a string structure, or you can say that string on beads structure. Second one is the solenoid structure. Third one is the higher level of packing, that is metaphase chromosome structure. The loops, domains, and scaffold is included in that particular structure, higher level structure. So this is a nucleosome bead, a particular nucleosome. In that particular nucleosome, the core of that particular bead is composed of these 4 histones. And this histone, this particular histone is a histone number 1 or histone 1. So dimer of histone 2A, 2B, histone 3, H3, and H4. So dimer of 2H2A, H2B, H3, and H4 are composed this particular bead structure. These are the dimer of each particular histone. They are the dimer of each particular histone. Now, the part of DNA which actually wraps in this bead, they are known as core DNA. So the DNA which actually wrap in this bead, they are known as the core DNA. And the extra part of that particular DNA is known as linker DNA. So if we look at the overall size of that particular bead, they are approximately 110 Armstrong, and Armstrong in width, and in height they are 55 Armstrong. So just try to imagine how small this particular structure is. They are literally very, very small structure. So in a detailed point of view, nucleosome contain 2 copies of H2A, H2B, H3, and H4. In case of DNA, the core DNA is basically 147 base pair of DNA that are wrapped around the nucleosome. They are wrapped around the nucleosome. So some nucleosome contain different histone variant, but histone 1 will always work as a linker histone. Okay? They always work as a linker histone. Link between two bits. Link between two bits. Okay? So now these are the hierarchy. If you look at this is the DNA is 2 nanometer. After that followed by nucleosome, that is a beads on a string, that is 11 nanometer, that is 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. 30 nanometer is a chromatin fiber. Now, then is the 300 nanometer scaffold structure, 700 nanometer chromatid structure, and finally the metaphase chromosome structure, which is 1400 nanometers. So, if we look at different kinds of chromatin, we may get two different kinds of chromatin. Number one is the euchromatin, number two is the heterochromatin. So euchromatin are the lightly packed portion of the DNA. In case of heterochromatin, they are tightly packed. Okay, so euchromatin are basically you can able to see euchromatin when DNA is in a preparatory phase of replication, of division. Not only replication, division. When DNA is in the preparatory phase of the division, and they are consist of structural genes which replicate and transcribe during the G1 S and G2 phase. That means in overall interphase, whatever proteins are needed that can be formed in through these structural genes. Okay. Now, in case of heterochromatin, they are not taking part in the process in any kind of these kind of processes. Okay, so they are not take part in the process of let's say replication or transcription or translation. They are not going to take part. So centromere and centromeric regions and knobs also take up dark staining. Right? So in chromosome, all centromere fuses together to form a long heterochromatic mass called chromocenter. Now, in case of how do you able to distinguish between this euchromatin and heterochromatin? If you stain any kind of chromosome part, you are able to see that euchromatin parts are light in color, but the heterochromatin parts are dark. Okay, so euchromatin is unicoiled and active, whereas heterochromatin remain condensed and inactive. So euchromatin means I am repeating this to you. Euchromatin means when the DNA structure is loosely attached. That means they have an option or opportunity to take part in the DNA or in the biological processes. In case of heterochromatin, they are condensed. They are not taking any kind of part in the process of like replication, transcription, no, not replication, transcription and translation. So eukaryotic chromosome demonstrate complex organization structure. And in that complex organization structure, one of a very important part is repetitive DNA sequence. So sequence that are repeated in manner. So it may possible that a particular sequence is repeated for 20 to 50 times. I am telling the lower part, 50 to 20 times. Those are repetitive sequences. Another part, which is, I will definitely take, there are different kinds of repetitive sequences are there. That includes highly repetitive sequence or middle repetitive sequence. Highly repetitive sequence also have satellite DNA. Middle repetitive sequence also have tandem repeats. Tandem repeats also have multiple copy genes which have rRNA part. mini satellites, that is VNTR, microsatellites, that is STRs, interspace retrotransposons, that is SINE, LINE, ALU, and L1. So I will definitely take another class of yours in this particular topic, that is repetitive DNA. But today we are going to discuss in general. So another part is the satellite DNA. This particular portion is known as the satellite portion. This is a highly repetitive part, consists of short repeated sequences. They are composed of short repeated sequences. Right? Now, this is the telomere portion that present always in the tail part of the chromosome. Okay? This part also contain different kinds of repetitive sequences. Okay? And these repetitive sequences are actually helpful, are actually very much helpful for the integrity and the stability of the chromosome. Right? Now, if we look at, when we are nearly the end of our today's class, but before ending, let us check what is the function of the chromatin. The function of the chromatin is to carry out genetic information from one generation to another. Yes, they are the main carriers of genetic information. That is why generation after generation, some characteristics have a tendency to get preserved by encoding the past history and future prospects of the cell. DNA being the only permanent component of the chromatin, it is the sole genetic material of eukaryotes. Yes, it is a sole genetic material and it never leaves the cell, thus maintaining heredity of the cell. So chromatin parts are the most important part because from them only, different kinds of functional protein molecules along with the RNA molecules are being produced. So a characteristic of a particular DNA within a person is actually determines the characteristics of the family and their heredity. So that is why to know the chromatin structure is very, very important, right? So if you really like this video, please do not forget to subscribe this channel. This is the name of the channel is Biodimension Online Classes. And in this channel, we are actually coming with the new videos which help students to prepare for their exams. And if you really like this video, do share this video with your peer group. Along with that, if you have any confusion, please leave a comment in the comment section so that I can address you. And you can also mail me whatever your thoughts are. And please like this video. And that is very important because your one like gives us motivation for preparing the next content. So thank you.